Hi, this is Sudhir. This is C#.NET Switch tutorial. Switch statement will allow you to compare an expression with the number of cases. In C# programming, if you want to write a multiple statements and if you want to execute one of them, if the condition is met, then you can use this switch which is under branching conditional statements. So statements inside a case will be executed if the value of that specific case is matched with the expression. In switch statements, we are going to give an expression and we are going to mention number of cases. If this expression value is matching with one of the case, that specific case will be executed. Here is the syntax for switch. At the starting we are going to write switch. In the braces you are going to mention a variable. This variable is going to contain some value. If the value is matched with any of the cases, like we have mentioned here multiple cases, case value 1, case value 2, so on, and at the last we are going to write default. If it is matching with any of the value, that specific case statements will be executed. And this break is used for throwing the control out of the switch. If one case is executed as it is having break, it will move the control out of the switch. That means only one statement will be executed. And default is there in the cases list. If all the cases fail to execute, then the default statements will be executed. Here is the program for that. In the first line, we are asking a user to enter number. This is a message printed on the output screen. In the second line, you can see console.readline is used, which is taking input from the user and it's going to convert into int32 to place it into a variable called I. And in this switch, I'm going to write an expression in that where I placed a variable. In this I, it contains some value which is entered by user. If that is 1, this case 1 will be executed because its value will be matched. You can see console.writeline of 1. The 1 text is printed on the output screen and it's going to break. That means it comes out of the switch. Thus case 2 and default will be ignored. And if the value matches with 2, directly the second statement will be executed because first will fail, it will go for the second one and it's going to print 2 text on the output screen and it's going to comes out. If all the cases are failed, then it will go for the default and it will print as invalid and then it will come out of the switch. The same thing I'm going to explain you in the demo in Visual Studio. So here I have a console application in my Visual Studio. In that I have a main method. So I'm going to write console.writeline here because I want to print some message on the output screen. Enter number. This is for the user which says a message to enter some number. Next I'm going to take a variable because user is going to enter some number. I need a variable I of int type which is used to store that value. I want to convert into 2 int32 because I'm going to take the number using console.readline, which takes number from the user which is of string type. Now in I have a value. Now based on the value inside this I want to execute one other switch statement. So that what I'm going to do is switch of I, open brace, close brace. In this switch, it's a branching where you can write multiple cases. One of the case will be executed if that value is matched with the value inside I. So cases are going to be like this: case exact value inside the variable. Case 1. I want to write some message here which is one text followed by break. This break keyword will move the control to outside the switch statement. I have written case 2 in that console.writeline of 2. 2 will be printed at the value is 2. Like that you can write multiple cases. I am writing 3 cases here in this example. Followed by default. I am going to write a default one as well. If all the cases fails, you can write multiple cases and you can write a default one. If all the cases fails, the default case will be executed, which says it's an invalid input. So this is how switch statements are written. And finally, after switch one, you have to write console.readKey because I want my output to be stayed on the screen till I press a key. So read key is required. So this is for printing a message on the output screen. This is for taking a value from the user to place into I. This is a switch statement with multiple cases. If one of the cases matched, that will be printed on the output screen. Now enter number. If I enter some number and press on enter, based on that, it's an invalid input. That means none of the case is matched. If I enter a value as 2, you can see, one more time I'll execute. if I enter value as 2, you can see 2 is printed because case 2 is satisfied and that statement will be printed. Like that, whatever the value you enter, that will be matched with one of the statement and that will be executed. So this is switch statement. Thank you.